Coriolis effect is a fictitious force. It's an optical illusion, people. Flat earthers. I'm just talking to flat earthers here. It's an optical illusion resulting from an object moving in a straight path through an inertial reference frame being viewed from a rotating, curving, non-inertial reference frame. Don't worry, I'm going to define these terms down below. From the viewpoint of the non-inertial frame observer, the object appears to follow a curved path, whilst in actuality, the object continues to follow a straight path. The reason the object appears to be following a curved path is because the non-inertial reference frame observer is curving, rotating, not the fucking object. Definition of key terms: appears. If I hear another flat earther say apparently or appears means yes, you can see it, I'm going to take a contract out on your dumbass. Okay?
I said that yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Appears. Not actually in this context. That's what it means. Not actually. The non-inertial reference frame, that is an accelerating reference frame. An inertial reference frame, this is going to be tricky, is a non-accelerating reference frame. So let's circle back. The Coriolis effect, it's a fictitious force. You see this word fictitious? This dovetails with this word, an illusion. See how that works? Crunching clowns. Resulting from an object moving. Now, this object has to be going in a straight path. Okay? If it's a plane, it must be going straight. Because if it starts doing curly cues voluntarily, the pilot starts doing it, then it's outside this example. Okay? The object, whatever it is, has to be going straight through the inertial reference frame, the one that's not accelerating. Which reference frame in the Earth realm is not accelerating? Well, the Atmo. Being viewed from a rotating, curving, non-inertial reference frame. You say in the Baltard paradigm, the Earth is rotating. That means it's accelerating constantly. That makes it the non-inertial reference frame. See how that goes together? From the viewpoint of the non-inertial frame observer, that means the person is on that accelerating reference frame, the non-inertial frame observer. The object appears. That means it's not actually following a curved path. It just appears to curve. Whilst in actuality, like I said, the object continues to follow that straight path. The reason the object appears to be curving or following a curved path is because the non-inertial reference frame observer is curving. He's rotating. Not the frigging object. It's still going straight. So since that person is on the non-inertial reference frame and is rotating and is curving, that person is seeing the object. It appears that it's curving, but it's not. It's still going straight. That is the Coriolis effect. Any questions?
How many times did the word globe appear in your citation or description of Coriolis effect, please?
None.
How many times did the word latitude appear in your description of Coriolis, please?
None.
Where did north, south, east, or west directions appear in your description of Coriolis, please?
They don't appear here.
Okay, then. So we are all clear as an audience. This word, Coriolis, exclusively deals with what is on screen now. That is all it details. It is what Coriolis Effect is. It is not synonymous with a globe. However, it is claimed the globe you guys reify out of measurements taken from a flat plane assert occurs on a turning reference frame that you think is Earth. Ergo, according to your globe claim, there is this effect to observe as you rotate underneath things on a turning Earth. The globe claims there will be a 15 degrees an hour deflection induced as you turn underneath things. Like to QE's example with an aeroplane. Aeroplane travels straight, but appears to curve because you are claimed on a globe Earth to turn underneath the plane to induce Coriolis effect. That is the claim. Earth has this effect on screen now. That would be to say Earth is a non-inertial turning reference frame, and as you are on said non-inertial turning reference frame, you will look up at things not attached and see them drift at a rate of 15 degrees an hour like the stars do. However, we do not observe this effect. If we did observe planes seem to curve as we rotate underneath them, then we are rotating underneath planes. And a flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to Los Angeles would only take about an hour and a half because we look up and go, oh, check it out, that plane's curving. Oh, it's not really curving, it's moving straight. We are turning underneath the plane, massively shortening its flight time when traveling west, which does not happen. Step 1, understand what Coriolis effect is. Step 2, apply what you understand Coriolis effect is on screen now to the globe Earth and notice nothing's happening. We don't see this effect.
Also,
I have something to add to this.
I have something. Two more. Coriolis Effect doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with the conservation of momentum, whether it be linear or angular, you crayon crunching clowns. The moment, I will guarantee the people that bring up the conservation of momentum are absolutely clueless of what it means and how to apply it. Whether it be linear, they don't know what it is. They can't define it. Whether it be linear or angular. Go ahead, Brian.
Have you got something to say, Nathan, before I go?
Yeah, go on, Brian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I have 2 points. Well, 3 points. Number 1, there is no such thing as the Coriolis force. Because that, when you say the Coriolis force, you're implying that it causes something. This is the problem with the ball towers. They keep on, in their mind, it's causing things like weather systems, hurricanes, all these things. In their mind, it's causing things, right? Not realizing that the only way it actually applies to their globe is that if we were rotating, then the stars, and this is my second point, would apparently drift. Now, Nathan, I have to pull you on that because you have a habit of saying drifting at 15 degrees per hour. No, it has to be an apparent drift. So it would be an apparent drift of the stars at 15 degrees per hour. But we don't observe that. We observe an actual drift of the stars. That's the difference. And the ballers don't get this. They don't understand the difference between, the only way it applies to their globe is if they're rotating, then the stars apparently drift. But it's actually not the stars that are moving, but us then on the Earth that's rotating. right?
You're
But
quite right.
yeah,
It is
So-
officially noted, if I may, it is officially noted though that Coriolis force isn't actually a force, and I think it's just
Yeah,
misleading,
I'm
just
getting to
like
that.
specific gravity, right? It has nothing to do with gravity.
yeah,
They called it
I'm
that.
getting,
Yes.
yeah,
But this is the
I'm getting to
problem
that.
that Flatzoid had yesterday. The problem Flatzoid had is like, all right, there's a force being described. No, the force is applied to the non-inertial reference frame, and you're like, the description of Coriolis force, regardless of what a globe citation may say, is the description of the force that curves the ball. You go, okay. The ball is not curving, it only appears to. Well, that appears to curve is what the description of the Coriolis force is on screen now in pink or something, probably. Fictitious force. So yes, you can call it the Coriolis force if you choose to, as long as you understand that the force of the ball curving. What ball curving? There isn't a ball curving. It just looks like it is. But when you describe the ball curving, because from your vantage point, the ball looks like it curves. From your vantage point, the ball takes a curved path. Well, it's a Coriolis force causing that curve that doesn't really exist.
Yeah, that's the two things I have to jump on. The use of the term force, it can only be described as a pseudo force, not a force. So when it's called the Coriolis force, regardless of what, I don't care if what university calls it the Coriolis force, it's incorrect to call it that. It can only be termed as a pseudo force because it appears something is happening. It's only apparent, it's not actual. That's the point. You
Right.
think
I
you
completely
think the
disagree.
object's taken.
Usually they just leave the entire subject out
redundant.
because it's
Stop
kind of
all
a
that, Sally.
side note, side
It is a
observation,
side
you
note.
know?
It's redundant. The moment you say Coriolis, it is exclusively describing a fictitious force. Therefore, you can say, well, the force in the Coriolis bends the ball. As long as you have an exemplary understanding of what Coriolis is, that would be to say an optical illusion, then you understand implicitly that describing it as a force is only a means to an end of description or an optical illusion. There is no force because the ball isn't bending.
Right, you can
No, but
think of it as
people
a
keep
force, but it isn't. And if you do think of it as a force, then you're mistaken and dumb.
You can think of it as the force that bends the ball. All right, I'll think of it as a force bending a ball then. Yeah, so long as you understand that the ball absolutely unequivocally does not bend at any stage whatsoever. It just looks
but
like
that's
it
the
does.
problem. Sorry, Nathan. I didn't mean to step on the end of your sentence. That's the problem with the use of the term force. That's why I hate it. Because it allows people to get into the mindset of the Coriolis, actually causing something, taking it away from what it actually is, which is something that is purely apparent, not actual, not causing anything. It's an illusion, an optical illusion. And it drives me up the wall when I hear the use of the term force and the use of the term drift without the word apparent drift.
Well,
or
deflection
pseudo-force.
would be a good word for it, wouldn't it? Because
Well,
that kind
you'd
of
have to say
makes
an
it more
apparent. You'd
ambiguous
have to
what
say
is
apparent.
actually moving.
But it doesn't matter if you say deflection or drift. You would have to say apparent.